Today, we will be exploring the dark lore of the popular Roblox game, The Intruder. The Intruder is a brand new Roblox game inspired by the likes of FNAF and the Mandela Catalogue. In the game, we play as the Intruder's victims. The Intruder's victims seem to be all connected, which is where the darkest, secretive lore in the game plays out. The game is split into two segments: VHS segments and FNAF-style segments. My theory is that the disjointed storytelling in the game was intentional, with various allusions and references to support this interpretation. 4 out of the 6 VHS tapes in the game are linked in segments, with the character exhibiting similar traits within these segments. For instance, the mall and the house segment share similarities in the character's behavior. The Intruder also hints at being the same in each of these segments, suggesting that the monster's figure is a byproduct of delusions, as people with schizophrenia often experience similar delusions.
This is further supported by the character Sarah's name that we have to spell out later on in the chapter, which could be the schizophrenic character's way of processing death and grief. Because this is the character's dangerous way of processing grief and death, this could lead them to believe that someone important in their life is gone, such as their wife Sarah from the monster.
One issue with this theory is that we play as different victims of the Intruder, Jason and Sarah. The second tape puts us into Jason's perspective as he wanders lost in the woods, where he encounters the Intruder as a monster instead of a human being. However, it's important to note that this event was never recorded, and it's unlikely that a young boy in the woods would have had the necessary equipment to capture it on tape. Therefore, this segment of the game likely serves as a way to convey what happened to Jason. And to maintain consistency, the Intruder is depicted as a monster through the rest of the game.
This all ultimately ties together in one story which I'm about to explain to you.
In a tragic tale of loss, grief, and the dangerous consequences of untreated mental illness. Here's a popular theory spread by Noel, who also made a video on the subject. In the early 2000s, Henry, his wife Sarah, and their son Jason were returning from a camping trip when they encountered a man with a grotesque appearance on a dark road. Henry's undiagnosed schizophrenia may have caused him to hallucinate the figure, which caused them to crash their car and kill Sarah. Jason, alone in the woods, was then killed by the Intruder. Henry was left with only his grief and worsening delusions. The Intruder continued to taunt him and other victims, but Henry eventually found the killer's house and confronted him, surviving the encounter and gaining closure on his family's death. The story is told out of order, but with careful attention. The pieces all fit together to create a devastating narrative. As players progress through the game, they will encounter various clues and hints that suggest a much deeper and darker story at play. The VHS segments in particular offer a glimpse into the lives of the Intruder's victims, providing a more personal and emotional look at the events that led up to their demise. These segments are filled with disturbing imagery, eerie sound effects, and cryptic messages, all of which contribute to the game's unsettling atmosphere. Moreover, the game's FNAF-style segments introduce a new layer of horror, as players are forced to navigate through dark and claustrophobic environments while being pursued by the Intruder. But as the pieces of the story begin to come together, players will begin to realize that there is more to the game than meets the eye. The story of Henry, Sarah, and Jason is a tragic one, filled with loss, grief, and the devastating consequences of untreated mental illness. It is a cautionary tale about the dangers of ignoring one's mental health, and the importance of seeking help when needed. Overall, The Intruder is a thought-provoking and emotionally charged game that explores some of the deeper aspects of the human psyche. Its disjointed storytelling, eerie atmosphere, and challenging gameplay make it a must-play for fans of horror and psychological thrillers. However, due to its mature themes and content, it may not be suitable for younger audiences.